it's Robin from LadyRobynS. Thank you for coming back. We are here for another Monday episode of FlossTube. This is my FlossTube. Let me check my notes. Notes. 19. FlossTube number 19, you guys. That's amazing. I've done 19 of these and I'm having a total blast doing them, and I appreciate you subscribing and coming back. If you're new here, you have stumbled on my channel, and this is a channel where we talk about cross stitch and my stitching and what I'm up to, what my plans are, all that good stuff. Okay, so it's not raining. I don't know about you, but last week's rain was more than I could bear. And you know that I escaped. I went down to Disneyland and we had a fantastic time. I don't know if you can see my shirt. Minnie. Yep. I didn't buy that on this trip. That shirt was bought, I don't know, 10 years ago, something like that. But I thought, since I just came back, I should Mickey it up for you. So the Mouseland was fantastic. We were there on Friday and Saturday. We had perfect weather. Perfect. It was sunny. It was slightly warm. It could have been a little warmer in the evening. Everybody was cold because you go to California and you expect it to be 80 the whole time, and you have to remember that it's February. Maybe we should have packed a few more layers, but oh well. We got a little respite from the rain. It was just what the doctor ordered, let me tell you. All right, it is time, because we went down to California. I thought this would be our mug of the episode. This is the California edition of the Starbucks You Are Here mugs. It was pretty funny. There's a Starbucks in Disneyland, there's one in California Adventure, and there's one in the downtown Disney area, and every time we walked in, my son would like shield the mugs from my view because I have so many. Okay, because it's Monday morning, I'm just drinking plain old coffee. Just coffee, nothing interesting, no syrup, no flavoring, no whipping things on it. It's just coffee. Okay, I gotta tell you, I told you all last week, I couldn't wait to get to Disneyland and do something different. I was gonna stitch in the park. I had all these grand plans, and you know what happened? I got to Disneyland and I didn't stitch in the park. I couldn't believe it. It just never happened. I brought my stitching, I brought my needle case, I brought my ginormous eye magnifiers. I mean, I had it all with me. We got into the park, we got a locker, we tucked extra stuff in the locker, and I put my stitching in there, and I thought, well, at some point I'll go to the locker, I'll pull this stuff out and I'll start stitching. And it never happened. I forget. Every time I go, I forget just how many things there are to do and how many ways you can fill your day. And one of the things that was brand new was the Star Wars land. And oh, that was fun. And we were able to get on both of the new rides, which apparently is incredibly difficult to do. There's the one, the Rise of the Resistance, and that one is amazing. That ride, it's almost in 3 parts. I don't want to give anything away, I'll say that. But when you get into the park, you have to be on the Disneyland app, and then you have to request through the app your boarding pass for this ride. And apparently the boarding passes for the entire day go in like 2 minutes if you're lucky. you have a 2-minute window to get your boarding pass. And the park is open till midnight. It was nuts. Luckily, a really super nice lady told me all about that. And so on Friday, we got up, we queued up to get into Disneyland. We could not believe the crowds. It was, I have never seen that area between Disneyland and California Adventure completely filled with people, but it was absolutely crazy. And so we were standing there, and it was like 7:30, and the park didn't open for half an hour. So we stood there. And then they slowly started letting people in. And I said to my husband, we're not going to make it. And we didn't. We got into the park about 8:10. And so the second you get through the turnstiles, the app activates showing that your passes are good and all this, techie stuff. And so we clicked to get our boarding pass for a boarding group, and they were all gone. But we got on like a standby boarding group number, and lo and behold, about 5:30, 6 o'clock, we got a notification that they were going to be able to accommodate our standby boarding group. So we were so excited. We scurried over there, we got on, and we thought, okay, cool. Well, if we don't, get through the turnstiles by 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, we'll do the same thing. We'll get one of those standby things. And we got through almost exactly the same time on Saturday. We couldn't even get a standby thing. So there's your little pro tip for if you go to Disneyland and you want to get on that Rise of the Resistance. You got to get up. Which when you're on vacation, you're like, I should sleep in. And it's like, nope, you got to get up. So anyway, we experienced all the fun things there are to experience in Disneyland. And I didn't stitch my, where is it? My Stormtrooper, still in the package. Hermetically sealed, right? But I've got a stitch on it because I did put it on my 24 hours of cross stitch across stick as one of my tasks this month. So I'm gonna have to stitch it at home even though I didn't stitch it in the park. But that's okay. I'm not mad. It's fine. Okay, so what did I stitch on? Because I did do some stitching, but I didn't stitch at all on Friday and Saturday. So I had 2 days with no stitching. So I don't have tons of stitching to show you, but that's okay. I figured a quick update, get in, get out. Well, I'll have more stitching to show next week because we're not going anywhere. But I did stitch on my pretty little Seattle, of which I'm aiming for a finish on this by the end of the month, and I'm getting closer. So here she is. I concentrated on this side. So, oh my gosh, I'm fumbling. Sorry guys, let me work on this for half a second. Okay, so that's better. So I worked on this building. I finished off the Smith Tower. This is part of the Seattle Science Center, so I'm working my way across that. So when this building is done, there's like one more tree on this side, and then finish off the Pacific Science Center. A little more waves down on the bottom corner. And she's done. Well, there's some decorative stitches to put on this building on this side. There's some, it's not back stitching. It's more like decorative stitching on the top of that. So it'll kind of look like the framework that you can see. That's the Seattle Public Library. So there's these really cool steel, what do you call them? Beams. These really cool steel beams that, create the outside of the Seattle Public Library, and it's all glass and you can see straight in. It's really, it's really a cool architectural building downtown, and so putting that kind of back stitching on there will really make that look like the Seattle Public Library. So I think, yep, I think it's completely doable. So I'm working hard on that. And then the other thing that I told you that I was working on was the Blackwork Bands sampler from Peppermint Purple, and I finished the first row of the real Blackwork, and that was super fun to stitch. And what was great was, you know, it's a repeating pattern, and so I actually stitched that while I was on the airplane coming home from Disneyland yesterday, and it was the perfect thing to stitch on because it, like I said, it's a repeating pattern, and so I didn't have to keep consulting the chart and, you know, change colors. I mean, it was just one color and, you know, just go. The only problem with the flight was the fact that I didn't get as much stitching time as I wanted, which that's always a problem, right? You gotta have lots of stitching time. So I figured I'd have about 2 hours to stitch, and our flight was absolutely one of the worst flights I've ever been on. And it wasn't the fault of the airline, but they had such terrible turbulence. I'm not afraid to fly, but I was actually slightly nervous. It was rocking and rolling. I had my stitching. I could not stitch because everything's going crazy. At one point, the captain told the crew to, you know, put the beverage carts away and go strap in, and because the turbulence was going to get even worse than what we were currently in. At one point the plane went boom, and it was really quite a flight. And I've got to hand it to the flight crew. They kept their calm, they kept their cool. I was seated in the last row, you know, the toity seat, the last row up against the labs, and I could hear the crew chatting amongst themselves behind us, and it actually, for me, it took the edge off because, like I said, I was slightly nervous because I have never been on a flight where the turbulence was that bad. And I've flown a lot, okay? I used to work for an airline. I've told you that before. I've flown all over the place. This one really made me nervous. So anyway, I could hear the crew in the back. There was no alarm in their voice, and they just kept chatting and talking about, you know, the next trip they were on or a fun trip they had been on, and just hearing that banter of them, you know, just having a conversation like you and I would be sitting at Starbucks, it just made the whole thing okay. You know, they were fine with it. The captain was fine with it, so I was fine with it too. It was okay. Although, like I said, I didn't get as much stitching done because I couldn't get the needle through the right hole. We were everywhere. Oh, and then it was nuts. I was like, oh, these poor people. We were coming in for the landing, right? We're coming in, we're circling, we're going down, and then we went right back up. We had to go around again. There was somebody still sitting on the runway where they weren't supposed to be, so we had to circle again. It was the craziest flight. I have never been on a flight that nuts. Anyway, I'm glad to be on the ground. I'm glad to be surrounded by my stitching, and I'm glad to be talking to you, FlossTube, because I am okay to not be on a plane today. All right, what else did I stitch on? So I stitched on the Pretty Little Seattle. I stitched on the Blackwork Bands. And then the other thing I stitched on was my January calendar from, oops, there you go. There's the pattern. From Snowflower Diaries, one of their freebies. And so when last we met, I still had to fill in all of the orangey color on the fox. So I got that all filled in. I've started working on the bottom of his little feet. I put his cute little ears in. So that's probably, I think I counted, I think this was about 450 stitches I got put in on this one this week. So this one's coming along nicely. And I've got to thank my viewer. I wrote her name down. Hold on, hold please. Where did that go? Here it is. meezermeowmy, meezermeowmy. Remember I was telling you I couldn't quite figure out what to do for the A on my 24 hours of cross stitch across stick, and she suggested, she or he, I don't know, I mean I actually don't know the gender, suggested that for the A I use the word another. And I thought that was brilliant because I'm looking down here, sorry guys. So for my 24 hours of across stick, what I did was another Snowflower Diary, and then I'm going to start February. So that was super helpful. And then for my second A, down here, I went, a stormtrooper. Because I was supposed to work on the stormtrooper in Disneyland and I didn't. I'll still get it. I'll get it. It's okay. No troubles. Okay. And then I think those are the three things that I actually stitched on this week. And in terms of plans for next week, you know that I look at a couple of online groups. So I'm doing, like I flashed this 100 times already, this video. I'm doing the 24 hours of across stick. And so the things I was able to get accomplished last week, I got in 4 hours on Pretty Little Seattle under my E for Emerald City. And then the other one that I moved my other E, I finished, I put down, I want to stitch on this every day, and every E, and I put down the Snowflower Diary January, and I wanted to get 480 stitches. So I pretty much got that accomplished. I got the Emerald City. This week I am going to bring back my laundry, so that's where I'm starting this week. And I put down I'd like to get 4 hours of stitching done on this one, L, for laundry. So the phrase this month for 24 hours of cross stitch is leap year 20. So I'm going to use this laundry for my L for leap year. So I've got that set. And then let's see, the other group that I am gonna try to accomplish is the Enchanted stitching group, and they've got 4 prompts, and this month it's all based on the movie Frozen, which I think is adorable. I love that cute movie. So the first prompt is let it go. So work on a whip that you're going to give to someone else. And apparently I'm very selfish right now because everything I'm stitching is for us and the house. And so I've decided I'm giving Pretty Little Seattle to my husband, and then he can give it back to me. That's kind of a cheat, but what can you do? The second one is based on Wandering Oaken's Trading Post in Sauna. So when Elsa Anna and Christoph have to buy supplies at that trading post. You're supposed to stitch on something associated with Oaken or his shop or summer because there's a sauna. So I definitely am going to use Pretty Little Seattle again for that one. Like I said, I'm really pushing for a finish this month, so as many things as I can make that work for. I think Pretty Little Seattle, I think that looks like summer to me, all those bright cheery colors from Satsuma Street, so I'm going to use that one. The third prompt is Eternal Winter. So when Elsa goes crazy, you know, and winterizes the whole Arendelle, something that makes you think of eternal winter. So I'm going to use my Snowflower Diaries January, because January is definitely a winter month, so I'm going to use that one. And then the fourth prompt is when we first meet Olaf, he doesn't have a nose. And so stitch on something you could use for a nose. It doesn't have to be a carrot, but just, you know, something that would work. And I thought the clothespins from the laundry series would work perfectly for that. So those are the 4 prompts that I'm going to work on for Enchanted stitching. And then of course I've got all the acrostic items that I can use. Oh, and one thing that I definitely want to work on this week is I want to start the year of Blackwork Sal by Peppermint Purple. Now that I've, you know, worked on this Blackwork Bands, I want to get working on that 52-week stitch along, and I still need to cut my fabric and, you know, do the hemming around the side with my zigzag on my sewing machine. So I want to get that start working on that, because I think they've released 6 weeks, so I'm 6 weeks behind. I want to get moving on that guy. Okay, so those are my plans. That's what I've accomplished. The next thing I want to talk about are the winners for the Lizzie Kate pattern and the pages from the Cross Stitch magazine. So because there were so many of them, I just went to my laptop and I did that random YouTube comment picker and followed that, and I did a video myself doing that, because I don't know about you, but I don't think it's all that interesting, so I just did it. I did it off camera. So the person who won the Lizzie Kate Thankful chart is also the same person that helped me out with A. So meezermeowmy, I think I'm guessing. I'm hoping that's how you say it, but so that's for you. So contact me. Either I'll put my email in the show notes, or you can also message me through Instagram. I'm also LadyRobynS, Robin with a Y, ROBYNS. You probably all know that, since I'm assuming you're a subscriber. So you can message me through Instagram. You can shoot me an email to my email that I'll put down below, but this is yours. And then for the Snowy Night kind of plate, Cheryl Teakles, Teakles, you won the little plate. So again, get me your information. I had one person say they wanted the Afghan pattern, and I saved this on my laptop because it said the winner is Erin, and it didn't seem like that was much of a description of the winner name, so I just want to read the comments so that you know it's you. It says, Erin said, so I was checking out the Snowflower Diaries free patterns right before I settled in with some stitching to watch your video. And what was I working on? The Peppermint Purple Year of Blackwork. And I was at Disney today, though it was DisneyWorld, not Disneyland. So, Erin of DisneyWorld fandom, this is you, the Afghan. So, get in touch with me. Okay, so the little sampler, this is going to Angel Quilter. Angel Quilter, this is for you. Okay, so those are our winners. I will pop those in the mail as soon as I get your mailing address. Okay, so I have a few things that I would like to pass on to you, my lovely viewers. One thing that came in my Stitchy subscription box from the Silver Needle, the A Little Help from Our Friends Stitchy box that I subscribe to, is this really cool calendar, and it's by Needlework Press. So I have a calendar that I use and I love. I'm already working with it, and I thought about maybe creating another calendar for keeping track of my stitching, but I'm already working in my big planner. So I thought, you know what? There might be somebody out there that is dying for a copy of this, and I'm just trying to, you know, maybe start over if I did this. So it's 2020 Book of Days calendar. So if you would like this, comment down below, say you would like the calendar. Please be a subscriber. Please be 18 years old. Please don't say giveaway. Just tell me you would like the calendar. So that's my first thing. The other thing, you guys, this is a little bit thicker. I'm only going to ship this within the US. Sorry, international viewers, if I have any. I don't know how much this would be to ship, so yeah, US only, sorry. Okay, so there's that. And then I have a pattern that I would like to pass along. It is by the Faithworks design. It's called Best Friends Forever. So if you would like to stitch this, put down you'd like to stitch the, what should we call this? Stitch the Friends with an S, Friends, okay? And then I have a couple of pages from the magazine I tore apart last week, and this one is kind of grapes. There's supposed to be 3 in the series. I have the carrots and I have the grapes, but I don't have the third one. So the carrots and the grapes are together in this stack. This I will ship anywhere. These magazine pages, I'll ship them anywhere. So if you would like to stitch this, say you'd like to stitch the grapes, and I'll get that to you right away. This one looks like a little sampler to me, so we're gonna go with sampler again this week. If you'd like to stitch the sampler, just let me know. This next one, this one's kind of hard to show. There's a picture on the front, and the pattern is to make, you know, kind of these little treat bags. There's 3 different jack-o'-lantern faces. So if you'd like to stitch these, tell me you'd like to stitch the jack-o'-lanterns. No, that's too hard. Let's say Halloween. I'd like to stitch Halloween, okay? Halloween. Okay, the next one I've got, this is beautiful. This is really pretty. This one, they call it Winter on Logan's Creek. So if you'd like this, just tell me you'd like to stitch the creek. Okay, 2 more and then we're out of here. This one is a beautiful rose. So if you'd like this, tell me you'd like to stitch the rose. And then the last one is the pattern, whoops, to stitch this ornament. So if you'd like this, tell me you'd like to stitch the ornament. Okay, so that's what I got going. I'm hoping to have a whole lot more time to stitch, and I'm hoping that you'll have lots of time to stitch and be productive. I did get my heartstring samplery pattern, so I am going to start Baby It's Cold Outside on February 14th on Valentine's Day, so I've got that ready to go. And then, like I told you, where did it go? Well, anyway, my birthday is Saturday, the 15th of February, and I wanted to do a birthday start, and I've kitted up cinnamon stars, and somewhere on this mess of a desk is cinnamon stars, and where did I put that darn thing? Oh well, it doesn't matter. On the 15th for my birthday, I'm doing my birthday start, and I'm going to start cinnamon stars, which will be super fun, and a lot of you have stitched on it. And next video, when it's started and I've got a few stitches in it, I'll show you. And then I have one last kind of, I don't know, stitchy enabler-ness that I wanted to show you. I was watching Made by Michelle, is that what it is? Yeah, Made by Michelle McGrath. Made by Michelle McGrath. I stumbled across her a couple of weeks ago, and she was showing this. And this is by Knitter's Pride. I got it through Amazon, and it's a magnet board. So it comes with 4 different magnets. Let's see if I can throw something on here for you. Click, click. So it holds your pattern while you're stitching. So I just thought this was brilliant to put your patterns on. So I'm really happy because I can put my pattern on it, and when I'm done, I close it up, and it goes in my stitching bag. And then you can also, there's a snap on the back, and you can snap it, and it stands up like an easel. Isn't that brilliant? So that is just so cool, and I wanted to share it with you because I don't know about you, but sometimes, you know, trying to, you know, manage my pattern and my floss and, you know, all the stuff, it gets a little tough. And this was one thing that I really like. I've got a couple of magnet boards, but what makes this one work so much better for me than other things is the fact that I can turn it into that little easel, and man, that's just brilliant. So I thought I'd share that with you because I saw it from Michelle, and man, I love it, and I'm really glad she showed me that. All right, you guys, I am out of here. That's all I got for you this week. I am gonna clean my desk, and me and my easel, I think, are gonna do a little stitching on Pretty Little Seattle before I have to go to work today. I hope you have a great week. I hope you find time to get some stitching done, and I hope you stitch happy. So I'll see you guys later. Have a great week. I'll see you next Monday. Okay, bye.